Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Joel from Easy Engineering and welcome back to another video. So in this video we're going to be talking about how to get that Astrix style bass line. I've been watching a lot of videos and there's a lot of videos on the internet out there, but I can refer you guys to Future Phonics video with Sonic Species where I think they discuss this technique, but I don't remember them going into very much detail about the processing. It's very simple, but there can be a lot of processing behind it, especially to get that character to that sound, you know, that full-on driving bass line that we all know and love. So let's go in and tackle this. So I've got a kick over here and I will provide it in a download link in the description down below. But essentially I made this kick in bassism, and then as you can see I've got a compressor, my EQs, just to obviously tighten up and shape the sound. So now we're gonna talk about making this bass line in Serum. I know in the Sonic Species videos they use Silent. Each kind of synth is giving a certain character. I feel like Silent has that warm character already. Serum does have that warmish character, but not as warm as Silent does. I mean, at the end of the day, they're both digital synths. But in the end, I feel like with Serum, you just have a little bit more control over the envelopes. But anyway, I'm not going to go in and make it from scratch. I'm going to load up the preset that I made the other day. Now, as you can see, I'm running 3 oscillators over here. I've got a sub, oscillator A, oscillator B. Now, the sub, you can use it. You don't really need to use it. With the amount of processing that we're going to do, we don't really need to use it necessarily. But it's always nice to have it in there just to obviously, you know, have the full spectrum of frequency content. But anyway, I've got my standard saw wave, and then I've got a square / what was that, triangle saw type wave. See, it's just bringing a bit more of the harmonics to the mix, a bit more brightness, a bit more character already. I've got my filter set to a low pass at 18 dB, and I've got my envelope cutoff set to the cutoff filter with my decay set to 230, my sustain 34.65%. Got my drive up around 19%, and my fat up 44%. I've got no internal processing. Every bit of processing is done externally. So anyway, let's go in and tackle this technique. Now, the track that you've just heard is in A flat, and we will keep it that way. Now we're going to go right ahead and start EQing it. Now the EQ in this technique is very clinical. As you can see, I'm not going to be doing a high pass cutoff. I'm going to be doing a low shelf, and I'm just going to be kind of dipping out at around 4 dB. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and find the resonant frequency and just cut that out. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take out some of the highs. Actually, I'll keep it around 16. There we go. Cool. Now, the key to getting this incredible type bass line that everyone knows and loves is what I've realized is what gives the character is the saturation. The saturation is extremely important, and I feel like Saturn does an amazing job. And if you want to really design your own kind of character or get that warmth that you want, I suggest you don't use a preset, but just for the sake of time, we're going to be using a preset over here. So as you can see, definitely changes the character of the sound. Next, what we'll do is we'll add in a drum bus just to kind of give it a little bit more character. Bring that up to 30%. I'll bring that down to 6. We'll bring that down to 93. Add up the crunch. All right, cool. So we've got our drum bus set up, you know, just to kind of, it gives it a little bit more of that warmth in the low mids, but as you can hear, it's taking out some of those low frequencies and also adding in some resonant frequencies. So what we're going to go in is we're going to go in and find that resonant frequency, take it out. There we go. What we'll do is we'll dip. There you go. As you can see, it's just kind of clinically removing some unwanted frequencies while just tightening up the sound a little bit over there. Okay, cool, sweet. So now we've got our main processing done on the synth. Next, what we go and do is we actually bounce it down into audio. So let's go ahead and do that. Sick. Cool. Now that we've got it bounced down to audio, we have a little bit more control over the audio signal, the tail, and the attack part of it. And this is why we're able to control the muddiness within the low end of the kick and the bass, is because we can obviously control the tail of the kick and the attack of the bass, and as well as the tail of the bass over there. Next, what we're going to go and do is we're going to dip our first one down by maybe 10 dB. We'll drop that one down by 67, whatever. And we'll drop that down by 1.5, maybe 2. And this is going to act as a sidechain kind of signal, I suppose. Just obviously gives you that dip. Awesome. Now we can go in and do some more processing, because as you can hear, it's got that warmth, it's got that character, but we just need to give more of that fatness, that low end push and drive to the sound. Okay, so next what I'm going to go and do is I'm actually going to go in and compress the signal just to obviously tighten up the dynamics. Oh yeah, sorry about the ears. Don't think it's that too loud anyway. Alright, cool. Next we're going to add in some more saturation, just to obviously bring some more harmonics and some harmonic drive to it. Let's try that one. And like I said, I'm just using presets, you know, for the sake of time. I definitely recommend going in and trying to create your own type of saturation within Saturn. There you go. Now I've just added in 2 Saturns in series of one another. I should actually probably bring down, let's bring down the output actually by 2. And that also by 2. We want to keep dynamic integrity, so I'm aiming to get to around -10 for the kick and bass. Cool. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to EQ out some of those resonant frequencies that we don't want. And like I said, we're not being too crazy on the EQ. We're doing it very clinically. All right, cool. Now that we've got our EQ down, what I want to go in and do is add some sub to it. Now, what you can do is you can add in R bass, or you can actually go in and create your own sub using operator, Serum, whatever. I'm not going to do that today. I'm going to use R bass, but the only issue I have with R bass is it really makes things sound very messy in the low end. So I'm going to start at -24 and see what I can do. With R bass, you want to try and hit the fundamental or root note of the key frequency. And for this instance, because it's A flat or G sharp, it should be 51 hertz. Cool, now you can hear that it's really brought a lot of sub-bass frequencies to the sound. However, it's also kind of distorted and muddied up some of the low mids and given some resonant frequencies to it. So what we're going to go and do is we're going to just tighten that up and EQ out some of the low end. So you can hear this whole mid range over here has just got too much resonance to it. Okay, so I feel like R bass is not working in this example, so I'm going to take it out, and instead what I'm going to do is I am going to actually add in a upwards or parallel compressor. Okay, wicked. I'm starting to like that. I just want to boost. So what I'm gonna do is I want to boost that frequency, so I'm gonna boost it with a pull tech, and I'm gonna boost it. What was it? It was around 60. We're gonna broaden that, attenuate that, and I want to boost that a little bit. There we go. Liking that. And not last but not least, I'm just going to add another CLA2A compressor, just to obviously compress and give some nice brightness to it. And there we have it. Now, what I've done on the group is I've added in a nice group channel effects chain, really. And this is just to tighten up the sound. You know, I always talk about my group channels, and obviously what I start with is my glue compressor, EQ, just to obviously cut out, EQ shape the sound a bit more. And then what I've added is my mastering C. Now this thing, I think it really changes the game. It really changes the entire sound and really brings it to life. Cool, and there you have it. That is Astrix style bassline. Now, I hope you enjoyed this. Let's just actually find out and see what it's going to sound like within the mix. Oh, I think I actually forgot one thing. Cool, so now what I can actually go in and do is I can actually create a few more processes. I can add in one more saturator over here. We'll just do gentle saturator. What we can do is we can add in a last EQ. And then finally, just a sidechain compressor, just to obviously get that little bit extra going. Let's see it in the mix. Cool, and there you have it, an Astrix style bassline. Now, I hope you found this video helpful. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you take away the technique and use it in your own music, and I hope it works just as well for you. Like I said at the beginning of the video, there is going to be a download link for all the samples and instruments and whatever for you to just check out. Obviously, I will also provide the Serum preset for you to go in and use and tweak for yourself. But essentially, that is the technique. There's a lot of processing that goes in behind this, especially on the saturation side. Maybe I'm using too much processing. I don't know. You can be the judge. Leave a comment down below. If you like this video, hit that thumbs up. If you want to see more of these videos, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that little bell button on the side to get a notification for when I release another video. Until then, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.